I think we left off where we were talking about the 4 common law wives that James Abinant had on Locust Hill. And I'll just repeat who they were again for clarity. Ellen Mason, Frances Swaggart, Patsy Trask, and Amy Price. Those were the 4 common law wives. And like I said before, I think Amy and Patsy left Locust Hill as young women and got married. I guess they didn't see any future with James Abinant, so they left. Okay, so they're not a part of the estate, is what I'm told. Some of the information that you will find in this book, though, is slightly conflicting since it came from different people. But it's the most accurate data that we have been able to collect. So, anybody want to do some research? This is a good opportunity to do it. But this is the best that we could do for the time being. I found a poem that I thought was very fitting to go with this information, since we have conflicting ideas about who people are and where they came from and who's who. So I found this poem, and I'd like to share that. The poem is written by Russell, Kelfer, and it sums up things quite well. You are who you are for a reason. You are part of an intricate plan. You are precious and perfect. You are perfect and perfect. You are precious and perfect, uniquely designed, called God's special woman and man. You look like you look for a reason. Our God made no mistake. He knit you together in the wombs. You're just what He wanted to make. The parents you had were the ones He chose. And no matter how you may feel, they were custom designed with God's plan in mind, and they bear the Master's seal. No, that trauma you face was not easy, and God wept that it hurt you so. But it was allowed to shape your heart so that into His likeness you'd grow. You are who you are for a reason. You've been formed by the Master's rod. You are who you are, beloved, because there is a God. This is wonderful because we have all kinds of things. We have a tendency to say somebody's a mistake. Nobody's a mistake. If you weren't supposed to be here, you wouldn't be here. Okay. I'd like to give a little information about Woodville. A few facts, actually, about Woodville. Woodville is in Wilkinson County, Mississippi. Wilkinson County is in the southwestern corner of Mississippi. The state line of Mississippi is on the west and south border of it. Adams County, which is Natchez, is on the north, and Amite County, which is Gloucester and Liberty, are on the east. The town of Woodville is located approximately 56 miles north of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and 35 miles south of Natchez, Mississippi. Woodville is the county seat, so that is where the courthouse is located. Other towns that are in Wilkinson County are Centerville and Crosby. Before the sawmills and the cotton gins closed in the 1960s, Woodville was a booming town. Although the Mississippi River runs along the western boundary of the county, no industry was ever brought to the town. Field Memorial Community Hospital and the nursing home is in Centerville, Mississippi, and both of them are located in Centerville, Mississippi. They are the largest health care center in the county. Woodville is a historical little town. The oldest courthouse in the state of Mississippi is in Woodville. The oldest Methodist church in the state is located on Main Street, and the oldest newspaper in the state, the Woodville Republican, was published in 1824. The boyhood home of Jefferson Davis, President of the Confederacy, is located in Woodville on Highway 24 East and Centerville Road. During the Reconstruction era, adequate schools were set on cotton plantations for blacks from grades 1 through 8. The first high school for blacks was founded in the early 1940s by A.J. Finch, a black man in Centerville, Mississippi. In the late 1940s, Johnson High School was founded in Woodville. Reverend Henry Johnson, a black minister, walked from church to church and from neighborhood to neighborhood collecting money to build a high school in Woodville for black children. Once the building was completed, parents were asked to buy one desk seat for their child. Students shared seats with each other until finally enough money was collected to furnish the classroom. Johnson High School grew into a thriving school, and Reverend Johnson lived to see his dream become a reality. Both schools closed in 1960 when Wilkinson County Training School, WCTS, opened. It was built with facilities to house grades 1 through 12. The facilities were and still are far more superior to anything this county ever enjoyed. Yet, we feel that because of the people in power, Reverend Johnson was denied the honor of having the school named Johnson High School. Some of the first blacks to hold public office and other jobs in Wilkinson County were James Jolla Jr., first black supervisor, District 1, January 1968. David Hunter, first black welfare board member, 1968. David was also a school board member for 22 years. Bilbo Ferguson, supervisor, 2nd District, from March 1971, December 2000. When he retired, he held the position longer than anyone ever did before. Charles Johnson, first black superintendent of education for Wilkinson County, was elected January 1976. Thomas Tolliver Jr., first black chancery clerk of Wilkinson County, elected in 1979 and stayed in office as long as he lived. I think it was like 40 some years. Mon C. Allen, first black circuit clerk in Wilkinson County, elected in 1999. Woodrow McFarland, Uncle Boy, was the first black police officer to serve in Wilkinson County. Ethel McFarland Smith, Aunt Ethel, was the first black woman to work in the dry goods store in Wilkinson County. Reginald Jackson, first black sheriff in Wilkinson County, elected in 1992. Mildred McGee, first black woman superintendent of education in Wilkinson County. She took office after Charles Johnson. These are just to name a few. There are many people who work behind the scene to make these dreams become a reality. Too many to mention. To you, none. Nevertheless, we are certainly grateful. I'm just going to give a few of the remedies, home remedies of old. Doctors was scarce as hen teeth, so many people learned to experiment and do with what they had, with whatever they had. From the number of them that survived, I would say they did a pretty good job. Hold on tight. Here we are. To stop bleeding, smut from the chimney was placed in a wound or a cut. Mouth ulcers, called thresh, they used bluing water. It was used to mop the mouth and the tongue. Bluing water.
Now what is that?
It's a solution that you put in the rinse water when you wash clothes. Makes them look whiter. Yeah, it's a liquid. Okay. Yeah, I have some. You don't find it everywhere though. You have to go to maybe one of the these stores are called general stores. Bluing is a blue liquid that was used in rinse water to make the white clothes look whiter. Fatback, which we call salt pork now, was also used to rub the tongue and inside of the mouth to help heal the ulcers in your mouth. If you had a sore mouth, a sore tongue, they used salt pork. Some people call it fatback. Yeah, put that on the tongue. If you had a fever blister or your cold sore, whatever we have different names for stuff. We have more than one name for things. More than one generation calls them different things. Wax from your ear was applied to the fever blister or the cold sore. For swelling, mullein leaves were boiled and placed on the swollen area or bathed in the water. It's mullein. It's a leaf. It looks like something like a cabbage leaf, but it has it's fuzzy, and you would take that and boil it, and set your feet in it. Cold rub. If you had a cold, they use goose grease and beef tallow. Either of the two was rubbed on your chest, covered with a cloth to loosen up the congestion, to loosen the cold up. So you might have a piece of flannel material, cloth, and put it over your chest. So you put that on. Pink root used for a laxative. You boil the root and drank the water like a tea, and that was your laxative. A hog hoof was used for whooping cough. You boil the hog hoof and then drank the water like a tea also. All these are things that people use because they didn't have doctors. If you did, you had no money to go to them, and you might probably live too far. Ginseng root, used to relieve pain and whatever else that ailed you. You soaked that root in whiskey and drank it for pain. And for a kick also.
Yes, man. That's actually worth a lot of money now.
Yeah.
A lot of people are actually going to different parts of Mississippi and Carolinas
and getting and collecting these things. Well, my dad and them knew which one to go and get out in the woods. And another cough remedy. Now this will probably blow your mind. Kerosene oil that you put in the lamps. Okay.